Alright, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and make a review of this Akaso Trace 1 Pro dash camera right from the camera. I think it's the best way to kind of represent the camera and see what the audio sounds like, what it's like to use it every day. My main purpose of buying this camera was for Uber and Lyft driving. I decided to do that on the side, bring home some extra money. When I can, I get on my way home, I'm doing it, or if my wife is out of town or has plans with her friends, takes the kids with her, what am I going to do, sit at home, watch TV, or do yard work, which of course I'll do, but I'll be making money when I can. So bought this camera to protect myself. It's got 1080p, 30 frames per second facing forward, as long as it's recording into the cabin as well. 1080p, 30 frames per second. You can do 1080p, 60 frames per second if you're only using forward-facing camera, or you also can go 2K by 30 frames per second if you're going with just the forward-facing camera. It does have GPS. It has a little GPS module that takes it to your front windshield, and it also has a suction cup that it comes with. Nice long power cord that plugs right into your cigarette outlet, 12 volt, and it has a little USB port on the front of that charger, so you can charge your phone, which is what I do. It is not a fast charger, at least not that high of a fast charger. I mean, maybe it's a 1.5, which isn't the worst, but my phone still discharges as I have Lyft and Uber and my GPS tracker that I have for tax purposes, for mileage and all that. So if all that's running at the same time, it does try to dwindle down. But as soon as I turn off that GPS tracking for mileage, it seems to charge just slowly, or at least maintain charge. Just depends what you're using it for. But again, the whole purpose of it was to have this camera that has the ability to record inside, has 4 infrared lights on it, lights up the entire interior, no blind spots whatsoever when it comes to darkness. I literally have, when I bought this camera, put it in, literally had the garage door closed, all the lights off, outside the car, inside the car, and it was clear as day. I could not see anything in my car at all, barely see my hand in front of my face. The only thing that lit up that was just because the screen, the screen was on the camera. But I looked at the video and it's clear as day. Can't get any clearer, to be honest with you. So the only downside to this camera that I found when it comes to at least to the camera aspect of it is that the interior camera is black and white. Not a game changer. At first I wasn't really happy about it. I actually thought about buying another camera for a while because of that. But the more and more I thought of it, it doesn't really need to be in color. Some people really like the idea of having it in color because, what happens if you catch something with your family and you can make a family video out of it. I know some people have said that they've used it when kids are playing games in the back seat or whatever it may be, and they really enjoy having that as a family video. It's recording in 1080p, so high definition video. But with that being said, and you can see the video in front of me as we drive. I'm not sure if you can see the license plates as I'm coming up on them, or any of the bumper stickers or anything like that on these cars that are around me. But it's really convenient having this camera. Again, it tracks GPS, tracks the X, Y, and Z axes as well, so that if you have to say anything about how the car is handling or how fast you accelerated or anything like that, weaving in and out of traffic, whatever you want to say. I'm not really sure how. Honestly, I'll just put up the video in here as well that shows me using the web interface and the app. Both of them need a lot of work, but let's be real. I mean, I paid $103 for this camera. It's a steal of a deal for what you get. You get a 32GB card and the camera, and obviously the charger and everything like that. So there's plenty of videos out there that show you how to set up the camera and some people's reviews about it. I definitely invite you to go find all those videos and watch them. But this is more of a video I want to show you what it's like to actually use it every day. Use the apps and use the programs. You know, for me, works just fine. I really liked it. I was looking at another camera, which was well more than double the price, but did not work at night. For inside the cabin, that's not going to work for me driving for Uber, mainly at night. You know, there was, but the apps were amazing for some of those other cameras. I have a buddy of mine, has a really nice camera that would work for me, but it was more than double the price. I want to say it was $189 without the chip. So you still have to buy a chip, you know, and hook it all up. It didn't look as aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. I mean, maybe it would still work for me. Yeah, I mean, it probably would, but again, $189. It's a big chunk of profit for me when it comes to, you know, Ubering. You know, this is the whole purpose for me. It's just to protect myself from, you know, allegations of misconduct, whether it's, you know, driving behind the wheel, and someone says I was speeding when I really wasn't, and that's, you know, that's a scam that's been ongoing with Uber and Lyft. I mean, I don't think it's been as rampant since they started tracking speed a little bit more, but you know, some of those videos are relatively new that I've seen online about people getting banned and you know, saying, oh, you were drunk or whatever, and you know, you got cameras now that I can protect myself with that. But honestly, the bigger one for me, I mean, granted, you know, you can get banned or blocked for a little bit of time. It's not the end of the world. Again, this is just a side hustle really for me. The main thing for me was allegations of, you know, of hitting somebody or, again, drinking, I guess, was one, but, you know, touching somebody, or, you know, I know I would never do those things, but, you know, does a cop know that? Does a judge know that? Does somebody else know that doesn't know who I am and what I'm about? You know, it's a world we live in nowadays of that kind of stuff. And again, I watched the video that happened, I think it was last April. It might have been, I can't recall when it was now. I was watching the video just a couple days ago, and this guy in an Uber told the girl to get out. She was being really disrespectful. She freaked out and said, I'm not getting out, go call the police. She's like, okay, I won't call the police, it's not a problem, I'll call the cops and tell them to get you out. And then she ended up hitting herself in the face, and she said, I'm going to tell the cops that you hit me because now I got a handprint on my face, and you're going to go to jail for abuse, and blah, blah, blah. And you know, that scared me. I mean, you know, I'm thinking for my main career, I've been, I mean, really since I was 18, I've been under video surveillance. Since I was 18, video and audio surveillance since I was 20 for work. So I've always had somebody monitoring me and there for me to make sure that, you know, I'm justified in what I said or what I did. It's one of those things where, you know, a lot of people don't like Big Brother watching you, but if you're not doing anything wrong, it protects you. You know, if I'm being respectful to somebody, if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm not cursing, you know, not doing anything crazy, and something happens, I have video evidence. Now, obviously, it's a double-edged sword. If, you know, like this camera records inside the cabin. If I'm sitting there texting while I'm driving, if I'm smoking, drinking, not paying attention to the road, falling asleep behind the wheel, whatever it is, the camera is going to catch all that, and it's obviously going to, you know, dig a hole for me. Side note for that, this camera actually records front video and rear video in 2 different files. So technically, you can have just the forward-facing video if needed, you know, versus just the rear. Also, the GPS tracking in it is attached to it as part of metadata, but if you were to copy the video in certain ways, so if you use a Google Photos or something like that, where it makes a copy of the video, it's like looking at the original, it does lose that metadata most of the time. It doesn't retain it, which kind of stinks, because it could obviously hurt you in the future if you don't realize that. I'm a big advocate of Google Photos, just because it's free. I just bought an iPhone. I came from an Android, so I'm used to having Google Photos forever. Not used to this idea of having to pay to back up my videos and pictures. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure when iCloud backs all that up, it's 100% of the metadata is retained. So I don't know though for sure. Don't take my word for it. Definitely test that out. I actually haven't tested it yet. I have iCloud disabled on my phone, and don't plan on enabling it unless I come into some money and I can afford to have iCloud enabled all the time. But don't see a reason for it. But in any case, it's a great camera. I've only needed to really pull data from it one time. It does have Wi-Fi, which is a really nice option. Where if I'm out driving and I need to download something to my phone because I was in an accident or I witnessed an accident and I want to give it to the police or give it to the people that were involved in the incident, you know, I can do it right away. It doesn't go as fast as you would think or hope when you use the Wi-Fi. You know, Wi-Fi, I can download just about anything at home really fast. This, I think, I want to say is around 2 to 3 megabytes per second, which is really, really slow. It takes about 2.5 minutes to download a 3-minute long 1080p clip. A lot of people say, "Whoa, 2.5 minutes? That's nothing. Why are you talking about 2.5 minutes for a clip?" Well, remember, each video or each camera records its own video. So if I want this segment of the video that's 3 minutes long, both forward and rear facing, well, that's 6 minutes of video. That's downloading 2 clips at 2.5 minutes. That's 5 minutes of downloading. Again, oh, it's a big deal. It's only 5 minutes. Well, remember, that's only one little segment. So each segment I have to do that for, forward and rear, potentially. But to make matters worse, when it comes down to it, the app is very poorly created, in my opinion. Or it's not. I mean, maybe that's being a little bit too hard on or harsh on it. You know, there are things that I wish it had. All right, I wish it had the ability to do multitasking. So for that 5 minutes that I'm downloading those 2 clips, I can't do anything on my phone. If I navigate away from the app for any reason, phone call, text message comes in, if I just swipe because I'm still driving Uber or get a notification, whatever it is, it stops downloading. I've actually had one time where a file I couldn't get again because they said I downloaded it, but I really didn't finish downloading because I navigated away when I had first started using the camera. The other thing is if the screen dims. I have a 30-second time frame on my dimming on my phone to save the battery. Well, now every time I use my camera and I download via Wi-Fi, I gotta go to settings, display, change display to never for dimming, so that way I can download as many videos as I want wirelessly. Now, obviously, the other option that you have is to don't use the Wi-Fi option. Take the chip out, drop it into your computer. The only negative that I found so far is that this camera does not come with the adapter for if it's a micro SD. Move it over to an SD. It doesn't come with that adapter. Luckily, my desktop actually had a micro SD port built into it, which which was really convenient for me. I wasn't even thinking about that. I thought it came with the adapter, and it didn't. So that worked for me. I ended up buying another bigger card anyhow, just because I wanted to make sure that it recorded long enough, and I also got the adapter just for convenience and compatibility when I'm out driving around. So the camera also comes with a USB cord. I'm not sure if that's strictly for power. It's a very small cord, or if it's for your computer. Haven't used it yet, haven't tried it yet, haven't needed to try it yet. But again, not a big fan of the SD part of it, just because how my camera is situated and how recessed that port is. It's kind of hard to get the chip out and just drop it on my computer. And technically, the manual says every time you put the chip in, they recommend that you reformat the card, just because when you put it into a computer, I guess, it could potentially pull, it could change a file format and make the camera not work properly. So they recommend that you do it that way. I haven't done that with the last time I did it, and so far it seems to be working okay. But again, it's just one of those things where it's a great thing to have. It's a nice thing to have. You know, if somebody has an issue. I mean, some of the video I'll show you of me using the app. I just had dropped somebody off at their house. On my way, kind of get further out of town to find some more rides, and deer was on the side of the road. Well, it's really nice to say, you know what, officer, I know that there was deer that was crossing the street, and that's why I swerved and I flipped my car. And that actually happened to one of my friends. Somebody that was at their house, or coming to their house, actually on their way to their house, flipped their car right in front of their development, and everyone's like, "Oh, must be drinking, must be high, and speeding." And it's like, no, I hit the curb. My car flipped over as I swerved. The car, it was a deer running out, and the guy had a dash camera. He'll protect himself.
All right, guys. So as I was saying, it's really one of those things where you really want to take into consideration if you want to have something to protect yourself. So in that case that I was saying, where somebody got into an accident because of a deer crossing the street, and you need to show proof of that, I kind of want to show you exactly the example that exactly happening to me. I didn't get into an accident. I wasn't driving that fast, but I'll show you exactly why you need a camera like this to help you protect yourself. But also wanted to show you the program that you can download right from Akaso. So this program actually will allow you to watch your video. Will give you the speed, your latitude and longitude, and also your X, Y, and Z axes as well. If you're hitting bumps or anything like that, it'll all trigger right here. Also show you a map of exactly where you are, and for this is all pulling from Google Maps, as you see Google here, but you can see satellite view if you need it too. But this is actually one of those cases where I was just dropping off a rider from Uber, and you can see exactly what happens right here. So I'm driving down the street and make a left-hand turn, and right there is the deer. So obviously I was going slow. I was only going about 12 miles an hour, so, and obviously I saw that, so didn't have to worry about swerving or anything crazy like that. But it was there just in case I needed to, right? But as I fast forward here, you'll see the speed again is registering as a 25. I'm going 24 right now, and again exactly where I'm driving and everything like that. So it's a great option and tool to have. The next video I'm going to show you right here too is what happens if you have a rider in your car. So this is a nighttime view, obviously, and actually I'll keep playing here so you can see a little bit of what it's like to drive at night with the camera. It's not the clearest, but it's also it gives you what you need, in my opinion. I'm not making a movie. This is all about just protecting myself. But in any case, I'm going to show you the inside right now, so you'll see what it's like at night. I had a female passenger driving her from point A to point B, and I'm going to blur out obviously her face in this video so you can't see that for privacy. Nothing happened on the ride, so it was fine. But this is a case where it would help you out if somebody were to rob you or do something else, and obviously if someone were to say you did something inappropriate. So that's going to play right now, and you'll see it goes right into the next one. And again, you can see my speed, and so if she said I was speeding or anything like that. But again, I know that her face is blurred out, so you're not going to be able to see all the detail in her face, and whether or not a police officer or someone can decide, figure out who she is if something were to happen. But it's very clear on mine. I can see it just fine there. You can make out her bag and description. And now on my end, you can't really zoom in any further than this. It's a very plain Jane program. Play, and this is all you see. There's literally no other settings you can do other than you can change the language, and if you want it to play, they call it the next paragraph. Obviously translation issue there. It's play the next video, and speed kilometers an hour or miles per hour. So we'll go ahead and leave that there. So again, it's a nice option, considering a lot of other cameras don't offer it, but this one does. A lot of other cameras have much better programs, but again, for $100 roughly, I mean, I can't complain too much.
So here's the app, and you'll see it's really not the greatest app, to be honest. If you navigate away from this app, it has to reload everything all over again. So I'll show you here. I'm going to hit pictures, and it's looking for a storage card from my camera. I'm not connected to the camera. Camera's in my car. It's off. I'm in the house, recording my screen here. So if it local, here comes all my videos. So I can go right in here and I can watch any of the videos that I want, and it'll have the GPS tracking. Here is a video of kind of a close call for me that I had just a few days ago. And I'm going to just speed through a few minutes into it. And you'll see the GPS starts working here. It shows exactly where I am. Again, just like the desktop, you get a nice view using Google Maps, and you can get information. And I had just pulled out of this quick trip over here, came over to this light. And again, you'll see the speed in a second, but you'll see this white car start pulling out, and I have to kind of hit my brakes. I mean, it's and this camera has a little bit of a fisheye here, so it looks a little bit further away. I mean, it was pretty close. I had to kind of hit my brakes there, but again, you can see the speed here. It's a 35, I think it is, and I'm just driving down the street. Again, you can see if I get pulled over for speeding or anything like that,
URV
or anything like that. It gives you all that kind of information right there. Now, it does let you go sideways. I mean, when I do this, it's I know the video is not going to turn for you guys, but it allows you to get a little bit closer. You can't zoom in, unfortunately, on the app. I download it to my iPhone and just use what the iPhone lets you do. It's a nice thing to have, just in case you need it for an emergency situation, or share it with somebody else. Also in the app, you can change the settings of your camera. Obviously, I can't do it here because I'm not connected to it right now, but it does give you the option. Now, the only thing I don't like about this app is it doesn't let you stream video from the camera. You actually have to download it first, and then you can watch it. And even after you download it, all it says is it shows this exact clip that you see. It'll say downloaded in the top left corner, and when you click on it to play, it won't play. It'll say click on the storage up here, change to local, and then find it, and then you can watch it. There's that, and then all the videos are based off of date, but it's based off of oldest first rather than newest. So if something just happened, you got to scroll all the way to the bottom, and I have a 120 gigabyte card, so I have 3 or 4 days worth of video or more on here. I got to scroll all the way to the bottom to find that video if I was in an accident. And also I've noticed that if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, find the video I want, and then I hit this little download button up in the top right corner up here, if I do it and I'm at the bottom of the page, it'll actually push me all the way back up to the top. So basically if I scroll real quick, find the video I want, hit the download, it'll scroll all the way back to the very top, and then I got to go all the way back down again. You know, maybe I'm just being nitpicky, but that's a pain. But the nice thing is I forward all this over to the developers, and hopefully they'll get an update very soon for all of us. Alright guys, that does it for this video. This review again was for the Akaso Trace 1 Pro. I really like it. Again, it's a great little camera. It has GPS, Wi-Fi, basically everything that I needed, as I mentioned in the video. It's not the best camera in the world, but I definitely can recommend it to you if you know what you're getting into. There's a lot of other great options out there depending on your budget, but budget-wise, for $100, can't go wrong. I'm actually getting ready to buy a second one for my wife, just to throw it in her card, just to watch out for you know, anything that would have happened on the road. You know, we travel to visit family all the time, and that's our family car. It's the SUV, so we'll love to be able to protect us with that too. You know, you can put the camera just about anywhere as long as it's you know, legal in your state. I put it right behind my rearview mirror. It's out of line of sight, so it's not going to be a problem with any laws that may change in the future. I don't have to worry about moving the GPS module here and there since it's kind of stuck to the windshield. You know, it can be removed. It does have a sticker that it technically sticks to, and you could just peel the sticker off and stick it onto another windshield, or it's just 3M tape anyhow, so you always can pull the 3M tape off and put new 3M tape on if you want it also for the actual module itself. But there's a lot of videos out there that show how to install it, actually straight from the manufacturer of the camera. Maybe it took me 15 minutes to do it, and if it took me that long, it's only because I kept moving the camera around when I was placing it, because I just wanted it just right, because I thought of putting it under the mirror so that I could see inside the car while staying out front and being in the center of the vehicle. But then I didn't like the idea that I would see it and it's in my line of sight, so I preferred, you know what, it's fine where it was, right behind the mirror. So again, like it. Hopefully you give it a shot. I'll put a link in the description for you to pick one up if you want it. Also like and subscribe. Really appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day now, guys. Bye.